Alexander is alive, but his real whereabouts is unknown. He was apprehended at the end of May 2014 in occupied Donetsk for allegedly being involved in murder. His family haven't seen him for over 4 years and say he isn't included on any official Ukrainian missing persons list. Natalia, his wife, asked us not to reveal her face. She tells us on that fateful day in 2014, Alexander arrived in Donetsk by car with a license plate from central Ukraine. He'd been planning to take his wife and child away from the city.
People wearing black arrived and surrounded the house and took us all to the police station. They also took our car. We were interrogated. They made him stay there.
Alexander's mother and sister tried to see him when he was being held in a Donetsk holding cell by the Russian-backed militants. At that time, the region's government buildings had been already taken over by the Russian-led forces.
People wearing black civilian clothing took us to a police office. I was taken to the basement. My mother was upstairs. They didn't beat us, but they wanted to break us morally. They said, "Why did you come here? You're a Banderovtsi." There were also phrases like, "People from the Donetsk People's Republic will take you and cut you into strips."
1 year after Russian-led forces abducted Alexander, his loved ones discovered he was being held in the 52nd colony in the city of Yenakiva. He was told he would be serving a life sentence.
When we were able to reach out to him, we discovered he was in the 52nd colony. There are a lot of them there. Around 200 people are serving sentences. There's nothing to eat. The water supply is cut. There's no heating in winter. They gave them a spoonful of cereal in winter.
Ukraine has comprised a list of 294 names of people who've been reported missing in the occupied region of Donbas since the start of the conflict, but the real number is much higher.
Unfortunately, due to the absolutely destructive position of the Russian Federation and their puppets from Donbas and Minsk, we still haven't had any progress in creating a mechanism involving the International Red Cross Committee, which is extremely important for us. The complexity of these negotiations lie in the fact that in Minsk, the Russian Federation is holding on to the position that they're not there, even though there are Russian citizens among the soldiers in Ukrainian prisons and among the killed. At the beginning of this year, 2 bodies of Russian citizens were handed over. They were identified by relatives.
According to the International Committee of the Red Cross, more than 1,500 Ukrainians are considered missing, and more than 1,000 unidentified bodies are still being stored in morgues. Specialist groups looking to retrieve remains of soldiers are being denied access to the occupied territories, and some areas full of unexploded mines are just too dangerous to go to. The territories haven't been fully inspected. There is still Ilovaisk, Stepanivka, territories near Savo-Mohyla, and Mironivka. Savo-Mohyla itself hasn't been fully inspected either, because large territories still remain mined. Our and their soldiers mined these territories. There are no maps. Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko signed a law on missing persons. Authorities will have one comprehensive database within the next few months.
The creation of this register can help inform families about the fate of their relatives, because now they're in a vacuum. Very often they don't have information regarding the search for their relatives.
Recently, a deal was struck between special representatives from Ukraine, Russia and the militant forces. OSCE coordinator Tony Frisch will visit some of the prisoners in occupied regions. This may be one of the last hopes for the hundreds of Ukrainian families still waiting for their loved ones to come home.